and why you should be a BA, business analyst. What are the growth prospects for the BA role and overall opportunities, global opportunities or US based opportunities for BA role. Then we'll look at the highlights of the training program in a good detail, and we'll have a question answer session after that. During the session, if you have any questions, feel free to put the question on the chat window and I'll answer it right then and there. Or if I need to review your question, I will get back to you at later point of time. Most likely after the training is over, immediately I can get back to you. So let me introduce myself. My name is Swati. I have done my business. I have done my Bachelor of Engineering Computer Technology from Mumbai University. I have done postgraduate diploma in specialized topics such as international purchasing and supply chain management. I picked up this course because I am personally interested in supply chain domain as such. So I decided to do further education in this. I am certified business analysis professional CBAP through IIBA, and as part of my core interest, which has helped me in BA role as well, I have done my NLP practitioner course certification from Australian Institute of NLP, which is based in Sydney. Now, just a quick note before getting into my detailed domain expertise and work experience, etc. The reason I am bringing up all my details about education and entire work experience and everything, domain experience, my client detail, is that not to just put a lot of information or my resume over here, but to let you know what kind of various domains one can go through as part of a BA role. I have been practicing BA as a BA for over 10 years, and I have total experience of total IT business experience of over 17 years by now. And I want to bring up various roles that I have been through, although they are business analysis roles. The titles have been different. Sometimes domain has been different. Sometimes the location location of the project has been varied. It was part of either US or Australia or UK, for example. But the core of business analysis that I experienced in all these years remains same. So there are various domains one can get to work on. I have been fortunate enough to work on various domains such as supply chain, manufacturing, insurance underwriting, telecom, some government sector related work as well. Then I worked quite a lot on e-commerce applications, retail and CRM applications. And as part of my first job, I have worked on ERP application, especially the sales and inventory modules and all the related modules to sales and inventory specifically. Let's move to various roles I have been playing all these years. These are most of the roles I have played are pretty recent. I have been working as senior business analyst. I have worked as business process and data analyst. Worked as the title has been business system analyst. I worked as business process management, BRMS, which is business rules management system, and EAI consultant. EAI is basically integration projects. I have been fortunate enough to work on BPM, BRMS, and EAI kind of projects as well. I have been working as consulting as BA trainer, coach, and since I have done my CBAP last year, I have been training on CBAP CCBA as well. Another interesting part of business analysis role that I have done is acting in the capacity of Center of Excellence and Quality Assurance for Requirement Management and BPM, which is again Business Process Management. So I have been leading the team of, it was a flat structure. I have worked on keeping the tabs on the quality of requirements throughout the organization. That has also been a very interesting role. Before prior to that, I have worked in the technical capacity as project lead, architect, and also ERP customizer. This was way long back. I used to think I was a developer that time. Like my title was programmer analyst. But I have later on, after understanding business analysis more, I realized that I worked a lot on ERP customization for specific clients, and as part of that, I did requirement analysis, design, and coding entirely on my own. So I was doing a lot of business analysis even at that point of time, and that made me really feel good about this particular role specifically, ERP customizer. Memberships. I have been active member of IIB International Institute of Business Analysis. It is based in Canada, but now it has by now it has like over past 10 years it has several chapters all across the globe. And I am also a member of quite an active member of several LinkedIn groups which are dedicated to helping the business analysis community in general. And I love my work absolutely. So this is pretty much about various work experiences I have received so far. In terms of clientele, I have worked with top tier clients such as Motorola, Capital One Auto Finance, Genworth Financial, uh, as well as I have worked for mid-size and very small size companies as well. That gave me a lot of insight into a very structured way of business analysis, and also to the organizations which are not having so much of processes around business analysis, and still they want to improve their quality of requirements, or overall the way in which business analysis is done. So that basically it's a wide range of businesses that we have as client, and every time it's a new experience, and we get to add new value to the customer. So let's move to the next slide. What is business analysis? And I think let's have it more of a collaborative discussion. I'll just start discussing some of the ideas when it comes to business and analysis. So I just thought of breaking this into parts, like what is business, what do you mean by analysis, what is a problem, and what is a solution. Then what is this bridge and liaison, these terms that we keep hearing about business analysis, and another term which is as is and to be. So let's look at what is exactly is a business. So as we know, business is basically the organization is aiming at providing certain products or services to the end customers with the intention of making either profit or it is for a non-profit. And for providing these products as well as services, the organization needs to build various sets of processes or systems and people and their interconnections, and all this is and the business is not just one organization nowadays. Business boundaries also are getting blurred really. So when it comes to an organized supply chain, for example, organizations direct clients and organization direct suppliers, the suppliers and the direct client their clients. So it becomes a huge chain of business, and then just one thing in the entire chain can really affect the whole chain of businesses. So nowadays even the definition of businesses has become quite a wide one. And as a business analyst, again we'll look at what is business analysis. As a business analyst, one needs to look at not just the organizational level, but also at various other external levels as well, such as direct clients, their partners, their suppliers, and their end customers or middle customers, things like that. So what are we talking about? What analysis? What is it that we are analyzing? So basically, when it comes to the word analysis, it means factual. So we as business analysts, one goes by facts and figures and numbers and current state and to be state. So we analyze lot of data and infer from that data, or processes, or a set of instructions, and to find the meaning for that. So analysis is more about factual. Obviously it is a factual information, but we also infer from the entire range of information that we are exposed to. So what kind of problems are we talking about, and what kind of solutions? For example, I'm going to take the same example throughout this course. So let me take this example of what is a problem and what is a solution. So for example, in one of my clients, the business problem or business need was that the business rules they had, various underwriting rules, they were in their legacy systems, and they were very inflexible, and because of that they were causing a lot of loss in business, loss in their number of applications or underwriting applications they were receiving. That was the problem, or something that needed to be corrected. And the solution was, means problem to solution. That entire journey is something which is experienced by me as business analyst, and it was that to define the problem by eliciting the exact requirements from the client, build up the business requirements which is catering to the exact business need that they pose, and not deviating from that need. So when it comes to defining the problem, as a business analyst, one has to be very clear about what exactly the problem is. Many times business stakeholders, they say the problem is so and so, and for example, there are too many rules, the rules are very scattered. But the main problem, when you start discussing or when you start eliciting the requirements with them, what is your need, what is the root cause? So you go back to the root of the problem to figure out the exact problem the organization is facing, and then to tackle that particular problem with the possible set of solutions, and recommending various set of solutions and picking up the best solution from the options. So problem to solution is a journey that's something business analyst needs to facilitate through various skills. We will talk about those skills later on. So we are talking about business problems, business needs, business objectives, and eventually detailing the problem. For example, in case of this business rules problem, the solution was that the legacy application they had, wherein the rules were stored, that was about to expire, and the new and that was the end of it. The rules would be gone after so and so date, and that was a pressing problem because after that particular date, what is going to happen, no one knows. The rules will be gone. So the idea was to figure out what exactly the business rules are which are there in the legacy system, and provide the rules in a through a solution which was the BRMS solution, business rules management system. And the solution is expected to be flexible enough for the stakeholders to change, and it has a license of next 10 years, and also the rules are visible to the stakeholders. Earlier, in the legacy application, the rules were embedded in either in the code or in the legacy application, and it was not really possible for the stakeholders to see and change the rules. So the solution that was offered, of course, it took a lot of study and a lot of analysis and a lot of decision making to come up with the final solution. But I am just giving you the glimpse of the journey from problems to solution. So eventually, the organization decided to use BRMS system, wherein the rules will be exposed to the stakeholders for them to change easily, and so that they can tap the market changes also very quickly. without losing the number of applications for loan, and in turn saving the organization from otherwise losses that it would have incurred. So as part of business analysis, this particular role, the person who is performing this role has to go through journey from problems to solutions, and in that journey we come across this bridging and liaison this term, which is quite used. I'm sure you must have come across many times. So if the problem to solution journey was straightforward, defining the problem, come up with solution options and pick up the best option, that would have been easy or perhaps a perfect world. But that really doesn't happen. I can tell you by all over the years, it has never happened, and it is basically we are living in a world which is forcing us to become more and more perfect through liaisoning with several of the stakeholders. That is the job of business analyst. And as part of this role, this particular facet of the role, business analyst acts as a liaison amongst the business stakeholders, the senior management, as well as the technical stakeholders, the people who are implementing the IT solution. For example, in our in the case that we are discussing, we had a team of various stakeholders from business, such as quality team, risk team, underwriting team, manual underwriting team. That was part of the business subject matter experts, and I used to interact with the with the management as well as part of the role. When it comes to IT side, I used to interact with the technical architect, project manager. Of course, project manager was a separate role in the project, technical architect, lead, and even the developers. And the only issue, or the biggest issue, is that both of the teams, especially the technical and the business teams, they have different languages of communication. And as a BA, one needs to create a bridge by using the language which is common to both. While talking to stakeholders from business side, business analyst needs to talk in terms of features or various business processes or maps or functions or operations, procedures, or various screen elements, what they see. And when it comes to technical interaction, one needs to just flip the side and then explain the feature which you have understood through several of the elicitation meetings with the customer or the stakeholders. Excuse me. And then make sure that the requirements are understood by the solution team or implementation team. So this is the job sitting on the edge, and it is a very interesting job. It is challenging, and at the same time it really leads to a lot of growth in terms of professional development, because one needs to really be able to understand the stakeholders' need and as well as the technical or solution team's needs, especially while making sure that the solution is correctly implemented, and assisting the stakeholders in validating the fact that the solution is implemented correctly. So that is again part of the journey from problems to solutions. Now there is this the another way to look at problems and solutions is that as is and to be. So this is the term again. Most of the people who are working on business analysis, they will come across is as is, which is existing, and to be. So it can be as is processes and to be processes. It can be as is rules, to be rules. So it is something that organization is aiming to achieve through the set of solutions we are figuring out through an initiative such as a project or development of a product. So it is the state as is, which is current state, and the to be, which is desired state, don't. Just a minute, let me check the chat. No, these are basically I have put in the points here, and I have decided to take this in through the discussion itself. Business analysis. However, there are in the industry, if you see, various projects may have different titles for the same role. For example, the job specs may say it is a process analyst role, or it can be a business system analyst role, or it can be a business architect role, product manager, or several others, product owner, requirement engineer. So all these are different facets of same work that we are doing as business analysts. It's just that sometimes the level of detail that one goes through while doing the business analysis may differ. For example, business architects may or management consultants, they will go for they will be usually engaged in strategic initiative. They will be called upon for let's say analyzing the current state and then determining the to be state for the organization. And they will be once the analysis and their findings are produced, then it is more of a high level analysis they go through, they conduct. And for example, business system analyst, this role may get into a lot of technicalities such as functional requirement or non-functional requirement, lot of integration aspects for the system, things like that. Product owner, product manager, these are more of product development specific roles, and they will be working upon more and more of the features, current features, to be features for the product, and they will be working on various releases across the product development life cycle. This is another role that you will come across as a business analyst. Requirement engineer also is the role. It may be a entry level BA role. However, it still goes through the same set of business analysis related activities. So let me move to the next slide if there are no questions. So I just wanted to take you through some of the artifacts produced by business analysis through business analysis work. So the flow, basically this diagram is a flow diagram. It depicts the policy automation for the to be solution and the way in which various steps are expected to occur. The new application comes through, and it goes through various stages of checks and kind of filters, and then it goes through various rules eventually to come up with the decision approve, decline, or refer. The reason I am explaining to you this process is not for the insight or gaining any insight into the process, but to depict the fact that this is a process flow or flow diagram, which is typically one of the artifacts created by a business analyst. So you, as a business analyst, you will be creating several of process maps like this with various activities involved and various conditional things that may happen as part of the flow, the best cases and the worst cases and maybe middle cases, such as in this case there is a refer condition, manual underwriting. And in this flow also we are trying to depict some of the steps which are automated steps and some of the steps which are manual steps. So this is one of the artifacts a BA role will produce. Another one typically is this is an excerpt from business requirements document. So you will be creating various specifications such as business requirement documentation, system requirement documentation, functional requirement specs. With each of these documents handling the requirements at a certain level of detail. Business requirements will be at a higher level of detail. They will, in this case, I have put in some information from the Excel from the business requirement document. It mentions of the current problems that are being faced due to inconsistencies in current policy, the way in which legacy rules are operating, the legacy underwriting application is operating, and it gives the background of the for taking up this as an initiative. So it also gives it describes the problem and it describes the solution overview. So the solution overview in this case it was comprised of automation of business rules. So it describes a lot of aspects about business solution overview. This is just an excerpt. You will typically find in business requirement documents a lot of aspects such as various assumptions, constraints. Then also it will mention the boundaries of the scope of the solution, and it will also mention of some of the dependencies with let's say other applications or other initiatives across the organization. And as I said, you will also will also end up creating various artifacts such as system requirement document, function requirement document. The format and template for each of them differs depending upon the level of detail. So let me move to the next slide. Another artifact typically generated by BA is a screenshot or user mockup, or it is also called as a prototype. Nowadays, there are a lot of tools available for creating user interface mockup. The project that I worked on some years ago, I used to create this kind of mockup in presentation Word, the PPT, PowerPoint itself, or in a simple Excel file. Nowadays, we have a lot of tools for creating various mockups, and those are very collaborative in nature. So stakeholders can do the review and approval then and there. They can make the changes. They can suggest the feedback. So this is another typical artifact or deliverable created by business analyst. It will describe the screen details and various screen elements, and then the user information and various buttons or screen, all the screen level detail you can think of. The next slide. Okay, so let me just conclude the artifacts they were created by business analysts. As this is just a glimpse of it, as a BA you will end up creating several other documentation which is suitable for that particular project and that particular situation. So this is just a sample I have given to get an overview of the artifacts created. In our training, we will cover a lot of tools and technologies used for creating various BA deliverables. That will be a very thorough exercise. So we want to look at some of the other expectations from a business analyst role. These expectations may not be explicitly stated in the job spec or even during the interview, but the interviewer or the people are at the other end, they are certainly looking for these skills when it comes to BA role. Basically, one of the thing is detail orientation. One needs to be really detail oriented to analyze a lot of data and a lot of processes. Then overall general management skills, not exceptional like project management skills, but overall organizing skills. Then the BA should also have a lot of communication skills, be it verbal or written communication or various people skills, which are expected out of a BA role. Then there are several tools and techniques. As I said, we'll cover that in detail during our training course. So these tools and techniques such as, for example, Visio or Process Modeler, BPMN based Process Modeler, or business rules analysis technique, or data modeling technique, or use cases, or user stories. There are various tools which are suitable, more or less suitable for different situations. And as a BA, one is expected to pick up the right technique at right point of time. Then domain knowledge is a questionable thing. It is always good to have domain knowledge in that particular space where you are applying for the job. But many times, if the BA skills are there, the domain knowledge can usually be picked up, and it is not really a mandatory skill many times. But it helps to have as many domain knowledge, as much of domain knowledge as possible, so that one has a better chance of getting a job. Then various technology and solution skills. Again, business analyst is not a technical role. You are not expected to know a lot about let's say J2E technology or .NET technology. However, it helps to understand the technology part, at least at the fundamental level, so that you are talking to the development team in a language, development or implementation team in a language which they understand. So basic concepts such as what are the current architectures available, best way of architecture, J2E architectures or .NET based architecture. Then some of the basic fundamentals are essential to have. We are not going to cover technology part of BA role, because that is not responsibility taken care of by BA. But it is usually helpful to be prepared on the fundamentals when it comes to interview, and also for doing the actual job. So solution, when I say solution, is something which is not specified. Solution skill. The skill I am talking about is to understand the problem and determine various solution approaches possible, to understand the current market options available for, let's say, delivering or automating the rules through various tools, for example. Then what are all the various solution approaches available, and then assisting the stakeholder team in determining the best solution possible. Now the BA role is not really a decision maker in many of the instances. The a good BA provides the facts and figures and various options, and he or she puts all that information in front of the stakeholder, so that they can take up a call on which is the best one, considering the budget or time available and things like that. So this is a solution skill I am talking about. Let me move to the next slide. Now there are projects without BA. What happens when there is no BA? Now BA role was initially, at least some years back, it was not really as recognized as it is now. So many times, if the BA deliverables are not clearly created, then it certainly leads to projects with unclear requirements. There is insufficient documentation, and there are gaps between the business and the technical teams. There is no one to do the bridging part. Many requirements are conflicting because they are not clear and they are not analyzed for their dependencies with each other. Another big problem is solution is not testable or acceptable. There is no acceptance criteria mentioned all across for the solution, and one doesn't know how to test the solution, what is going to be acceptable for the final sponsor or the stakeholders which are involved in the project. And all these in a way are leading to time and budget overrun, which is very obvious, leading to a lot of costs for the organization. If there are no questions, let me move ahead to the next slide. Okay, so as a As someone who is aspiring to do career in business analysis, there are some very good interesting facts and figures I wanted to show you. There is a lot of growth potential and also recognition for a BA role. I have taken up the facts and figures from International Institute of Business Analysis and inaugural meeting which was held in last year 2000 in 2003 October 29. Since then there are 27,344 members by now. The chapters are 109 in 6 continents by now in just 10 years, and there are these many certifications which are being done. That just not just for the number, but that shows the inclination of people who are practicing BAs in getting the certification done and showing their professional competency in this space. The next slide is even more interesting. It describes as per the recent study done by IBA, the Canadian employers will be needing these many business analysts or these many jobs will be opened up by 2016. It is a huge number, and it is a source. The source is from Information and Communication Technology Council. The next one is also interesting. American employers will need these many business analysis related professionals by 2020. Again, it is a very leading, one of the very leading roles in the industry, and it is a well respected role. So it has a huge growth potential in the next 10 to 20 years. That's for sure, because there will be businesses, there will be opportunities to improve the businesses, and there will be solutions which are always needed. This is a bit file data from 2009 research done by CNN Money. Again, it was one of the best ranked jobs with 29% of growth potential. And of course, at that time in 2009, the total employment in this space was 1,25,000. It may sound a little less, but if you see the current numbers, it is really a hugely increased number. And certainly, the fact is that companies are increasingly relying on IT business analysts to make sure that the technology is effectively used and, more importantly, cost effectively used. So let me move to the next slide. So for when it comes to our training, what are there any in other words, are there any prerequisites? No, there is no prerequisite and no mandatory IT background as well. We are talking about the people who are whom we are going to groom into BA roles. They can be from any industry, can be varied industry indeed. And all the skills that we need to look at is I have given in the training highlight. So as such, there is no training prerequisite needed. It is because the reason why there is no prerequisite is that a BA can also be a BA role can also be an entry level BA role, and it can go up to any seasoned business analysis role, such as senior BA or lead BA or business architect role. So as such, there is no IT background needed or no prior experience in business analysis needed. We'll take you through the highlights of the training. We'll be covering various concepts for business analysis and the solution and the key responsibilities of a BA role. We'll also look at various levels at which business analysis occurs, and in detail we'll be looking at various deliverables produced at different stages of a life cycle of a project. We'll look at various the activities or steps involved in the requirement elicitation. We'll be looking into various details of elicitation techniques that will be handy for you. We'll look at the role of a BA when it comes to implementing the solution Another thing I want to make a note, wanted to make a note of is this BA role is it will be well aligned with the current industry standards or the current real best practices. So we'll be looking at all the aspects in a in a job oriented manner. So we'll look at key techniques and tools for business analysis such as UML, EPMN, ER diagrams, then state diagrams, sequence diagrams, user stories, business rule analysis, metrics, and KPIs. I am telling you, these are the ones you will be if you are thorough with these techniques, you will be really having a handy set of tools and techniques for any job, any business analysis job, I would say. Then we'll look at quality aspects for writing good requirements. We'll also look at very important topics when it comes to change management, either be in waterfall or incremental projects or agile projects, and how to trace various changes. We'll also look at stakeholder analysis and management in detail, and lastly, I will like you to go over key concepts of BABA, which is the business analysis body of language, and that is the material produced by IIBA. And I would like you to go through, not really in detail from the obtaining certification standpoint, but for you to just know what the industry standards are when it comes to business analysis. So I would like you to go over that as well. Then we'll do some real tools related training or more of a hands-on session such as modeling tools and user interface design tools and any other miscellaneous tools which you may have in mind. You can look at that as well, incorporating those as well. We will have a lot of case studies at various stages of the training. And last but not the least, the training is structured in a very job oriented way. It is not going to be theoretical. It will make you work on various assignments, and I will be reviewing those the outcomes of the artifacts you have created, and also it will be certainly a job oriented training. We will also be assisting you through the interviews and the job application processes if the need be. So please be rest assured that the training will be job oriented, and it is designed to assist you with the job hunt and finding the right job. So I would like to conclude at this point, at this stage, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or feel free to ask right away. Are there any questions? All right then. Thanks a lot. Thanks again for your time, and have a good one. Bye.